I'm 29 years old, and I've been working at a private company for the past 8 years. If someone had asked me a few years ago who I trusted the most in this world, I would have answered without hesitation. My younger brother. My father used to tell me, "Son, you're the older brother. One day I won't be here. So promise me you'll always take care of your little brother." I would always reply, "Don't worry, Dad. As long as I'm alive, he'll never have to struggle alone." Dad would smile and say, "That's exactly what I wanted to hear." A few years later, my father passed away suddenly from a heart attack. It felt like the foundation of our family had collapsed overnight. My mother was devastated. My younger brother was only 19 years old. He hugged me tightly, crying, and asked, "Big brother, what's going to happen to us now?" I held him close and said, "Nothing is going to happen. I'm here. As long as I'm alive, I'll take care of this family." That day, I made a promise to myself. No matter how many sacrifices I had to make, I would never let my family suffer. My salary wasn't very high. Every month, my paycheck disappeared almost as soon as it arrived. Rent, my mother's medication, my brother's college tuition, electric bills, groceries. Everything came out of my income. Sometimes my friends invited me on trips. "Come on, let's go to Goa this weekend." I'd just laugh and reply, "You guys go ahead. I've got some important things to take care of." The truth was, I simply couldn't afford to go, but I never regretted it. I believed I was doing the right thing for my family. After graduating from college, my brother came into my room one evening. He looked nervous. Then he quietly said, "Big brother, I don't want to get a regular job." "Then what do you want to do?" Without hesitation, he answered, "I want to start my own business." I stayed silent for a moment. I didn't have much savings, but I could see the dream in his eyes. I couldn't say no. I asked, "How much do you need?" He looked down before answering, "Around $6,000. For me, that was years of savings. Money I'd worked incredibly hard to save, but I didn't think twice. The very next day, I transferred every dollar I'd saved into his bank account. A few seconds later, he looked at his phone. His eyes filled with tears. He stared at me in disbelief. "Big brother, you gave me all your savings?" I smiled. "Money can always be earned again, but if your dream dies today, it may never come back." He hugged me tightly. Then he whispered, "I promise, one day I'll make you proud." At first, everything seemed to be going well. Every evening, he came home excited. "Big brother, we landed our first major client today." A few days later, "I hired 2 employees today." Hearing him talk like that made me genuinely happy. I felt like every sacrifice I'd made was finally paying off. But slowly, things started changing. He stopped sharing details about the business. He spent hours talking on the phone. Whenever I walked into the room, he immediately ended the call. One evening, I finally asked, "Is everything okay?" He forced a smile. "Yeah, business has just been a little stressful lately." I didn't ask any more questions. I figured every business goes through difficult times. A couple of weeks later, I came home from work earlier than usual. He was sitting at the dining table surrounded by paperwork. The moment he saw me, he hurriedly stuffed every document into a folder. I frowned. "What's going on? Why do you look so nervous?" He laughed awkwardly. "Nothing, just working on the accounting." His voice sounded shaky. Something felt off, but I trusted him. Looking back now, that was probably the moment I should have started asking more questions. About 2 weeks later, it was a Monday morning. I was getting ready for work when my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered. "Hello?" A calm voice replied, "Good morning, sir. This is your bank, calling regarding your business loan. You've missed 3 consecutive monthly payments. If payment isn't received soon, legal action may begin." I froze. After a few seconds, I finally said, "I'm sorry. I think you've called the wrong person. I've never taken out a business loan." The voice answered confidently, "No, sir. According to our records, there is a business loan of approximately $60,000 under your name." I felt the blood drain from my face. My hand started shaking. "What? Did you just say $60,000? The representative replied, "Yes, sir. If you believe there's been a mistake, please visit the branch today. We can show you the complete loan file." The call ended. I stood there in complete silence. My mind had gone blank. I had never even considered taking out a loan like that. So how could there possibly be one in my name? Without telling anyone at home, I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the bank. The drive to the bank felt like the longest drive of my life. I kept replaying the phone call in my head, hoping it was all just some ridiculous mistake. Maybe someone had entered the wrong account number. Maybe another customer had the same name as me. I desperately wanted there to be a simple explanation. As soon as I walked into the branch, I went straight to the customer service desk. I received a call about a business loan under my name. There has to be some kind of mistake. The employee politely asked for my ID. After checking the system for a few moments, she looked back at me. "Please have a seat, sir. I'll bring your loan file." My heart was pounding. A few minutes later, she returned with a thick folder and placed it on the desk. She slowly opened it. My driver's license, my tax documents, my home address, my phone number, everything matched my personal information. Then she pointed to the final page. "These are your signatures authorizing the loan." I stared at the page. Those weren't my signatures. Someone had copied them almost perfectly, but I knew they weren't mine. I looked up immediately. "I didn't sign any of these documents." The employee frowned. "Sir, the loan was approved after identity verification. According to our records, everything checked out." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Can I see the security camera footage from the day this loan was approved?" She shook her head. "I'm sorry. Only law enforcement can request CCTV footage." At that moment, I realized this wasn't just a banking error. Someone had stolen my identity. I left the bank completely numb. Instead of going to work, I drove straight home. The moment I walked inside, my mother noticed something was wrong. "Why are you home so early? Is everything okay?" I took a deep breath. No. Something terrible has happened. Both my mother and younger brother sat down as I explained everything. I told them about the phone call, the documents, the fake signatures, the $60,000 loan. For a few seconds, nobody said a word. Then my mother looked at me with disappointment. "Tell me the truth. Did you borrow the money and lose it?" I stared at her. "Mom, why would you even think that?" She crossed her arms. "Because banks don't just hand out loans to random people." Before I could answer, my younger brother spoke. "Maybe you forgot what you signed." I looked at him in complete disbelief. "Forgot? You seriously think I forgot taking out a $60,000 loan?" He shrugged. "People make mistakes." I felt something break inside me. The two people I had sacrificed everything for didn't believe a single word I was saying. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, I went straight to the police station. An officer invited me into his office. "Tell me exactly what happened." I explained everything from beginning to end. He listened carefully without interrupting. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. "If what you're saying is true, this is identity fraud. We'll open an investigation immediately." For the first time since that phone call, I finally felt like someone believed me. The investigation began that same week. The police collected copies of every loan document. They contacted the bank. They requested CCTV footage. They compared the signatures with my official records. Days turned into weeks. Every morning I woke up hoping for answers. Every evening I went to bed with even more questions. Meanwhile, things at home became unbearable. My mother barely spoke to me. My younger brother acted like nothing had happened. Sometimes I caught him staring at me, then quickly looking away. Something about his behavior felt strange, but I couldn't explain why. Nearly 2 weeks later, my phone rang. It was the detective handling my case. "Can you come to the station today? We found something important." My heart started racing. I rushed there immediately. The detective was already waiting. He looked unusually serious. Without saying a word, he turned his computer monitor toward me. "Watch this carefully." He pressed play. A security camera recording from inside the bank appeared on the screen. A man wearing sunglasses, a baseball cap, and a fake beard. walked up to the loan officer's desk. At first, I couldn't recognize him. The disguise was convincing. Then, the man reached across the desk to sign the paperwork, his sleeve pulled back slightly, and I saw it. A burn scar on the back of his right hand. My heart stopped. I knew that scar. There was only one person in the world who had it. I whispered, "No." The detective looked at me quietly. "Do you know who this person is?" I couldn't stop staring at the screen. Tears filled my eyes. Then I slowly nodded. "Yes. It's my younger brother." The next 2 weeks felt like the longest of my life. Every day I checked my phone, hoping the police had found something that would prove I was innocent. Then one afternoon, my phone rang. It was the detective handling my case. "We need you to come to the station. We found something important." My heart started racing. I drove there immediately. When I arrived, the detective placed a laptop on the table. "Watch this carefully." He pressed play. The screen showed security footage from the bank on the day the loan had been approved. A man walked inside wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses, a fake beard, and a face mask. At first, I had no idea who he was. The detective paused the video and zoomed in. "Look at his right hand." There it was. A burn scar. The exact same scar my younger brother had gotten when he accidentally touched a hot pan as a child. I felt my entire body go numb. I whispered, "No, this can't be real." The detective looked at me. "We're very sorry, but all the evidence points to your brother." A few hours later, the police arrested him. At first, he denied everything. "I didn't do anything. You're arresting the wrong person." The detective calmly placed the evidence on the table: the CCTV footage, the forged documents, the digital signatures, phone location records, witness statements. His expression changed instantly. After several minutes of silence, he lowered his head. I did it." The room became completely silent. The detective asked, "Why would you do this to your own brother?" He wiped away his tears. "My business had completely failed. I owed money to several people. Every bank rejected my loan applications because of my financial history." He paused. "Then I realized my brother had an excellent credit score, and everyone trusted him." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He continued, "I stole copies of his documents while he was at work. I practiced copying his signature for weeks. I even paid someone to help me create fake identification. Every word felt like another knife in my chest. I thought once the money came through, I'd rebuild my business quickly, pay everything back, and he'd never find out." The detective asked, "Then why didn't you make the loan payments?" He looked down. "The business failed again. I lost everything." I couldn't even look at him anymore. This wasn't just fraud. This was months of planning, months of lies, months of betrayal. A few days later, the truth finally reached my family. My mother came to my apartment crying. The moment I opened the door, she fell to her knees. "Please forgive me. I should have believed you." I stood there in silence. She continued crying. "When you kept saying you were innocent, I chose to believe everyone except my own son." I quietly replied, "Mom, the loan isn't what hurt me the most." She looked up at me. "Then what did?" I answered, "The fact that nobody trusted me, not even for a single minute."